All right, folks, and I believe we are live with the next edition of our Basepaws Experts webinar series. We are streaming live to Facebook now as well, so welcome to everyone, and thank you so much for joining us on this National Pet Day. We are currently getting our esteemed guest, Carole Wilbourn, in right now, so we're dialing her in right now, and she should be showing up at any second. So I would love to hear how everyone's National Pet Day is going. I hope you all are appreciating your pets, particularly the cats that you have living with you as well. And then we'll be able to go from there. Okay, so say hello. It's a gorgeous day here. And we've got Carole. Perfect. We have Carole as a panelist right now. We're just having her join in. Now, if you don't know, there we go. Hi, Carole. How are you doing today? Oh my goodness, can't hear you just right now. Looks like our mute. We've got you on mute for just a little bit. Oh no, it looks like I've got a video, but I don't have a microphone. All right, Minnie's getting us that microphone. So this is Carole Wilbourn. I'm sorry you can't hear her yet. We're getting her microphone all up and ready, but Carole Wilbourn is the cat therapist. She is our fantastic cat therapist. And thank you all so much for bearing with us as we get her up and ready. Now, Carole Wilbourn, if you all have not heard, she has for 30 years been a leading public voice for cat and guardian well-being. She's a frequent expert guest on popular television and radio shows and routinely quoted by the media. So her unique take on the life of cats and their role in the modern household is often featured in human interest and culture editions of leading international magazines. So let's give Carole a hello and wave as we're getting all of that perfectly sounded out from there. Oh my goodness. I know we are so close. There we go. Hello. Now, Carole, we've got her. I know, I am so sorry. Thank you for bearing with us, folks, with this technical difficulties. We feel like we are moving towards this world where we're constantly work from home. And while it seems to have made life a little easier, it also has made life just a little bit harder to throw up barriers for us to get to talk to. Now we should just have a button that's join computer audio on there for you, Carole. I think it's probably at the bottom of your screen. That'll get us all the way here. Let's see. All righty. Perfect, getting closer and closer. So folks, say hello. I know, hi all the folks on Facebook. I know if we have any repeat participants, we'd love to hear from you. We love doing this series, but we also love the feedback that we get. And so if you are here, this is your second or third or hopefully fourth time, and you've been with us for each and every single one of our episodes, let me know in the chat, Kendra. We've got some good waving from folks that are coming in, and we will interact. Perfect. And this is Monica's first time here, and it's so great to start to hear and see these. Monica, I'm so sorry we're starting with some technical difficulties for you. We'll get these all sorted out. And oh, perfect. And we've got another first time for Sonia too. This is just so exciting. All these folks, we've got a Felicia. Felicia is here, and this is her second time. So currently Felicia is winning our most attending race. Oh my goodness, we'll need to get that all sorted out and shut down. I'm sorry, we're here in my Slack. Get all this do not disturb as we sort through these difficulties. So thank you for letting me know about that. I know Slack is currently the way that we run the world, isn't it, Sonia? All the time. Oh, we've got so many people from all over. We got, let's see, we've got Cat Lady Kim is from Wisconsin over here, as well as, and then, oh my goodness, Raj Kumar is also the second time. Now, where's everyone from? Where have we got folks coming from? So we've got Cat Lady Kim's up in, Cat Lady Kim is up in Wisconsin. I'm sure he is the third webinar on here. And oh my goodness. all over. I love seeing this. Vermont, Cleveland, Washington, Seattle. You know, this just shows we've got so much love and so much passion for cats that spreads across the globe and across the United States on here. New York City, uh, California. I've got an SLC, which I'm not quite sure what SLC is, but I would love to know from. Oh, Silicon. We got also Silicon. Oh,
Hello.
Silicon City. All right, here we go. Carole, how are you doing?
Hi. I
Hi.
am here.
Oh, we got you in. I am so
Yay, we did
excited. Perfect. Well, how are you doing today? Are you a little stressed about all of this right now?
Yeah, I would say that. I would definitely say that. Yes.
Well, I'm
But
sorry.
we're doing okay. My cat's keeping me together.
Perfect. Like they do. They really help provide that rock during all sorts of times that we have. And
Yeah.
as I didn't introduce myself to everyone again, I'm Dr. Chris Minich, the Chief Veterinary Officer here at Basepaws. And like I mentioned,
hmm
is Carole Wilbourn, who is our esteemed guest for today.
Okay, here we are.
Carole has been she's been the cat therapist for over 30 years. And, you know, I would love to know how did you get started into this? You know, like where did we start?
Well, I liked cats,
Mm-hmm.
and I majored in psychology, and I met a veterinarian over black cat that I had adopted for a friend had a restaurant in the West Village.
Hmm.
And from there, the cat didn't make it, but we ended up starting the first cat practice in 1973 and sold it in 78. And by then I had written some books, and then I started writing more books. I wrote a column for Cat Fancy,
Mm-hmm.
and now I have an online blog, The Wilbourn Way, and I've done lots of appearances. You know, you name it, I've done it. I've been around a while, met many cats, and many cats have met me.
Well, and I'm so excited. You know, we love, like, say, your blog is a great blog, folks. If y'all have not read it, go follow it the Wilbourn Way. It's on her website as well, which is thecatTherapist.com. And so, you know, today Carole is here primarily to talk to us about one of the most common questions that we get from cats, or kind of about cats and living with cats. And I think living with cats is the best way to say this, because it's not so much that ownership, but really that kind of joint relationship that we have with cats as well. But yeah, so we've been talking about sleep and kind of those nighttime activities that we all get to be involved in. And so, how often do you see that problem, or kind of have that question brought up to you, or?
Chris, you know, it actually happens a lot, because people, you know, someone has a hard day and comes home and then wonders why their cat is doing the telltale cry in the middle of the night.
Mm-hmm.
And it may be because the person actually wakes the cat up.
Ah, okay.
The person's muscle memory wakes the cat up, and the cat comes in and says, "Here I am, let's play." And then, you know, and that doesn't work. And that happens like in the wee hours of the morning. And this actually happens to cats that people have already played with, and they've done all these things, and then they call me and they'll say, I'm on plan Z now. Whatever is happening? Why? I'm doing all these things that I read. And then I'll say to them, well, it could be that your cat needs his or her own apartment.
Okay, yeah.
And so you find a quiet room. It can be the bathroom. You know, it can be whatever. and you stick the cat in with, you do it in a nice way. Hey, look it, this is what I have for you. Let's hang out in here. And then you close the door. You don't do it in a punishing way. You do it in a fun way.
Yeah.
And you say, here you are. This is good. And so your cat may cry for the first few nights, but then you'll find that it kind of likes it.
Yeah.
Because it's like going back to the womb, being safe, being sound, and all is good.
Well, and like you say, when it's making it fun, that includes beds and toys, and really getting explaining or kind of showing the cat that that's their room, right?
Yeah, it's theirs. It's a fun thing. It's their sanctuary for the night. And your cat may cry for the first few nights. It may be like a telltale cry, but then you'll find that it's not crying anymore. In fact, I had a case once where there was a lawyer, and he had to get up really very early in the morning, and one of his cats would start to scream.
Oh.
And he had to get to court. So when I went in, I made the house call, and I played the music, and because I use music therapy, and gave them some pointers, and then I said when it gets to be bedtime, just put your cat either, in the bathroom or in a small place, and things will be good. But do it in an upbeat way and say you'll be safe. Because when cats are frightened, they run under the bed. They do all of these things. So they need a small, snug place, and the bathroom is it. Or it can be another room, but you want to make sure that you put all of your cat's comforts in there. Litter box, food, and really you do it in an upbeat way. Anyway, so here we are, the couple sequestered their two cats in the bathroom, and things were going really well, and they continued to go well. And then the wife called with the report, and she said things were going so well, and then someone spilled some cologne in the bathroom.
Oh no!
And I didn't want to close the door with them in the bathroom. So what I did was my husband said, they like it in there. They feel safe in there. It's like crating a dog. So let's just leave the door open. They left the door open. The cats stayed there all night. It was, they felt good. In other words, they had a good attachment to it. They did cry the first few nights that they were put in there, but then it stopped after that.
Yeah, so then they were really able to get that good adjustment. Now, folks, we do have Carole Wilbourn here. We're doing conversations right now. We're going to do some Q&A a little later. So if you do, while we're talking, have any questions that come up, drop them in your Facebook Live chat, or drop them in the Zoom chat or the Zoom Q&A, and we'll get to those a little later there. And it's just so interesting, the range of cases that that you see, isn't it?
Yeah, it really is. Chris, they seem to be their last resort. Most people, when they're calling me, they've tried everything else, and then it's like, okay, let's give this a shot. Yeah. And I usually can help them, and I feel really good about it because it's an honor and a privilege for me to be able to do it. It really, really is.
Well, and the background that you have, that psychology background, really, I think is something that we've mentioned some through Basepaws, and we really wanted to get people thinking about is we want to think about it from the cat's perspective as well. I think we spend a lot of time working from the human perspective, and kind of owners or guardians, and then helping shift that to helping see how a cat sees their living space on there. And is that part of the work that you do as well with kind of owner education?
Yeah, I would say that in order for me to help the cat, I have to help the guardian. If the guardian doesn't understand what to do, the cat isn't helped.
Yeah. Yeah.
So when one of the times I was written up in National Geographic, what they said was I was doing dual therapy or interspecies therapy, because it's just so important to get the program through to the cat's person or guardian. And it's as I said, it's always my pleasure to do that, because a happy cat makes me a really happy person.
Well, absolutely. And happy cats have such an effect. And one of kind of your most famous cases, of course, or help is Hamlet. Over the Algonquin, the cat that lives at the Algonquin, the feline greeter at the Algonquin, which that is.
Yes. Yes. Yeah. I helped the Algonquin with Hamlet's transition. He was originally on the street, and he was at a shelter, and then here he was at the Algonquin, in sort of cat paradise. And so I helped him, I was one of his enablers to help him to transition to the Algonquin. And he is such a joy, and he is so loved. And it's always my pleasure to play with him, to get him fit, and to see all of the guests having such a wonderful time, because it reminds them of their cat. And then they tell their friends about it, and then his fan club gets bigger and bigger and bigger.
Well, he's certainly one of the most famous ones. Now, you talked about that transition, kind of preparing him and helping him with the transition. Were there any, his situation is certainly unique because he's got lots of people that are unknown to him coming around into, potentially his space on there. And so how did you work with that transition and to make that easier for him?
First of all, I gained his trust, doing sessions with him and playing the music that I play, and letting him do what he wanted to do. Mm-hmm. And I did some Reiki treatments for him. Reiki balances mind, body, and spirit. It's not that it cures anything, but it balances. Mm-hmm. And so that really worked. And slowly but surely, as he started to feel good, he started to feel better and better and better. And there were certainly other forces. I mean, his team or his staff at the Algonquin, they love him, particularly Alice, who is his main person there. And of course now things are in flux, with particularly I'm in New York, and there's like a whole thing going on here.
Well, there's certainly a thing going on there. There certainly is.
Yeah. But as we know, cats know how to do social distancing. Mm-hmm. They absolutely know how to do that.
Well, and so with that social distancing, I know we've talked a little in our kind of run-up conversations to this about social distancing within our homes, as a lot of our folks have people who are, lots of people and lots of animals, all living in a small space that typically don't share the space with as many hours a day as normal. We've got folks that leave, for 8 or 10 hours, and now we have instead of leaving, now they're here all the time. And so I really wanted to talk to you a little bit about how that social distancing can help maintain the harmony within the household, and some ways to achieve that.
I
know that's a very broad question.
It is. Well, you want to break it down some? Yeah, you want to be a little more specific?
Real quick. So Hamlet has, of course, he spends a lot of time interacting with people, but he still needs his quiet time, right? He's kind of
Yes, yes, and that's what's important, is because each cat has his or her own script. There are many people who don't work at home. So all of a sudden they're home and they decide, oh, good, this is great. I can give my cat lots of time, and that's a marvelous thing. That's great that they can give their cat lots of time. But maybe that's the time when your cat wanted to hang out in the sun, or just wanted to chill.
Yeah.
Or maybe that's when he or she has a special eating time. So you more or less want to be there when your cat wants you to be there. Your cat usually will give you some kind of a signal. But you don't want to overdo it, because they're saying, now wait a minute, that was my closet time, and now I've lost it. Because with Hamlet, who has the 24/7 gig, when he wants to be by himself, he goes off he'll go into the baggage room, or he'll go to a part of the window where people can't see him, and he has all these little places where he takes his breaks and has his resurgence.
Gets that energy back. Now, you mentioned sometimes these cats give signals that they want to be left alone, and like with Hamlet, he has kind of specific locations. Now, are there any kind of common signals that you have people look out for, just kind of in a home, so that they can understand when their cat may not want to be as involved socially?
Probably if your cat's back ripples, or the tail flicks, or the ears go back. They are all signs.
Yeah, those are kind of
that that your cat is a little agitated, and if you're petting your cat, stroking your cat, and the tail starts flicking back and forth, I would stop. I would even stop petting your cat before that happens. What you want to do is stop whatever you're doing while the going is good. Before your cat stops you want to stop. You don't wait for something. We all want to wait. Oh, I did it this long. I did it that long. Particularly with cats that aren't that interactive. But it's just you want to stop before your cat stops you.
Absolutely. That is a great point that is a great one to let people know. So many of our cat guardians try and get that time in, as much time as possible, and until their cat is kind of full from them. That's not really where we want to get to that point. We want to make sure that cat has that harmony and that balance to help decrease the stress levels, because they will be there and be active with you and really help you kind of show that bond. Now, we've got a lot of great questions that are starting to roll in here, and so I'm going to go ahead and start out with one of these questions, just to kind of go from there. Now, we talked a little bit about cats being active at night. One of the questions that came up is, why is my cat so active at night? You mentioned that some of it is muscle memory itself. Are there any other reasons besides the muscle memories that cats may be more active in the evening?
Well, cats aren't nocturnal. And when I talk about muscle memory, what I mean is a cat is reliving an experience that it felt through its body. It could be a good one, or it can be something traumatic.
Okay.
And it's usually something traumatic that would make or annoying. Something that it could have even happened when the cat was in the womb. Happened once upon a time. There is that.
Okay.
And what else would you like to add here in this question so that I really cover it for you?
Great little coverage for it from there. You know, we always talk about how cats are nocturnal. That's one thing that we do want to stress to people. We have been so much, you know, cats have become so prevalent in society that sometimes people forget where cats came from, and kind of where they evolutionary came from, and how they would live and interact in the wild. And of course, at night is their major kind of active hunting times as well. So from there, so that nocturnal aspect is something that we see. So that's partly why cats can be more active, right? Like they've got a lot of innate senses that can help pull those energy levels up at that point in time. You know, oh my goodness, we've got so many that are just kind of coming through here. Now we have one question that says, I've heard that you shouldn't let your cat sleep with you. Is that true? How do you feel about that?
I think it's sort of a dual decision.
Mm-hmm.
Absolutely, your cat should sleep with you as long as you don't wake him up and he doesn't wake you up. If you have a copacetic night, wonderful to sleep together. Wonderful to sleep together. So it's up to the two of you. If you're compatible, absolutely you can sleep together.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Absolutely. And that dual decision, it is, these are two parties have to consent to this sleeping right here and really make it work. Now, from an average, how many average hours of cats? When folks ask you how many average hours of sleep a cat gets per day, do you have an answer for that, or kind of what you expect for people in their own homes?
From what people have told me who have videoed their cats and what I've experienced myself, your cat or cats sleep most of the day.
Mm-hmm.
But you notice that they can usually wake up on a dime because the cat is a descendant of the wild cat. So they're almost half awake. It's like one eye's half open, even if you don't notice it. But that's why they can all of a sudden, you know, they're up and going. But they sleep a lot. They really do sleep a lot. And I think if you were to video your cat during the day, that's what you would find out. So it's good. I mean, that's smart. You know, they do things when they want to. And I'm particularly talking about cats. Kittens might be more active.
Oh yeah.
And maybe if you had a dog too, that would give them something to do, so they might be more active, you know, playing with the dog. And you know, and for now they don't have to worry about keeping any particular distance.
Yeah.
And you know, they put on shows for you when you're there many times. They're continuous entertainment.
Yes, they do. Now, you know, a little bit earlier, I said the cats are nocturnal, and Joseph brought up the question that the correct term is actually crepuscular, which means they're more active right at kind of sunrise, sunset from there, though we do have some activity at night from there. So thank you for bringing that up, Cat Lady Joe, on there. Now, from another question standpoint, you know, this is, you mentioned the shows that the cats put on. You know, one of the common things that we also hear and is that, you know, my cat is comfortable with me and my husband, or kind of me, you know, with a singular family unit. But as soon as anyone else, whether it be a mother, a sister, or a guest comes over, then they become much more scared and hide. And is there any way to kind of help, you know, like help them become a little bit more excited or rather sociable in that situation? I know so many of these questions are specific to households and cats themselves. So they can be difficult questions to answer, but we'd love if you have just kind of a general comforting or how to make a cat more comfortable in a home.
I think it's best when people, when they do come over, to have let your cat go to them. Tell them just to chill, and not to not to seek your cat. Just to hang loose. And if your cat really gets frightened, then sequester your cat. It all depends on the individual cat. It takes time to create another feeling, for your cat to become more social. It's not going to happen instantly. You have to gain your cat's trust, and maybe when one person came over, if they were low key, they could maybe give your cat something. Not go, just put something down near your cat and say that's for you, and then leave, and then repeat the same thing the next time. So there's repetition.
Okay, so good repetition that allows the cat to seek, as opposed to forcing the cat into that.
Exactly. A little at a time. A little dab will do you.
just a little. Oh, now you mentioned earlier that you used with Hamlet, you used music therapy to kind of help during that confidence gaining phase as well. And I wanted to kind of talk a little more about the music therapy with you. Is there a specific, how do you choose the music that you use for therapy? Is it a set routine, or is it something that you choose based off the cat's perception itself?
I use something that's calming. I usually include my voice here and there. And it sort of very low key music. Not something that's dramatic, not something like bum, 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 bum. I mean, classic music is wonderful. There are some cats that respond very well to hard rock and any of that kind of music. But usually, if you're trying to calm a cat, you want to play something that's soft and sort of like purr music, we'll say.
Yeah.
Winding down.
That nice, slow, relaxing, lyricless music.
Right? Something that's going to relax you too, so that in other words, you'll be at the same show, hanging out, doing the cat in person chill.
Yeah. Now, where did the idea for music therapy for cats originally come from?
Oh, dear. It came really early on when I was playing. I was making, this is really going back, doing an auto tape, a cassette tape, sending an introduction to someone in Canada. One of my clients is actually in Montreal, on how to introduce a kitten to a cat.
Okay.
And I noticed that as I was talking, that my cats really they cuddled, and they sat right by the cassette player. And then I thought, that has a good reaction on them. And then from there, I thought, well, gee, music would even be better. And someone had said that I reminded them of Louise Hay. This is someone who did meditations, and she's a real healer with people. And they told me to go to the shop and to get her and to get that particular music. And I had helped this person with his aggressive cat. He was badly bitten, and the cure for this particular cat was a kitten. Anyway, So I went to get the music, and what happened was I had just come back from a house call in Maui, and I saw this this cover with some whales on it, and I thought, wow, this is really something. I'm gonna take this home, and I totally forgot why I went there. And I played it for my cats, and they really liked it. And I said, "Oh my God, they like it. Maybe this is I'll do it for the cats that I make house calls for, and so forth and so on." And that's kind of what happened. So when I'm doing sessions with cats, I'm appealing to all of their senses.
Yeah.
I'm appealing to their hearing. I'm appealing to their touch. I may not be touching them, but their guardian maybe. And so that all the ingredients are there, and they feel really nurtured, rather than just sitting down and say, okay, do this, do that, do this, do that, do this. It's very, very, very comprehensive, and and the people they get it. The cat gets it. I'm not sure who gets it. It gets it first, but they get it.
Yeah.
And it's a good thing, and it's just a wonderful feeling.
Well, and helping that bond, so many of your stories show how that bond increases with these shared experiences, whether it be the kind of the music therapy shared experience between the cat and the guardian, or understanding their place in the household. And we love to be able to hear and help create and nurture that bond, because that bond is so important for the health of the cat and for the health of the guardian as well.
Yeah.
Now we've got some great stories that are coming through our Facebook and our Zoom right now. A lot of folks are sharing, like Kendra, Anna, Haley, Suzanne, and Paul, the various ways that their cats wake them up, including Katarina. There's so many different ways, and we love being able to see, like with Katarina, her cat just kind of lays on the husband's chest for a while, and if there's no attention, starts to ask for a little more, then a little more, and then a little more, until attention is fully given on there. And we just have such a great range. It really is amazing to see the personality ranges in cats that we love to. Now, with some of our cats, we do have a question that comes from Kathleen, that if we have a cat that's really active early in the morning, like the 5 to 7 a.m. areas, and is constantly crying, but doesn't do anything about feed, but doesn't respond to any feeding or cuddling, is there ways that you can help or kind of think about? I know that's, again, a really hard question on there that requires, honestly, many more follow-up for what exactly is going on in the household. But for those early morning or early risers, things that you typically think about for those cases.
So what you're saying for these, they want their cats to be more interactive, affectionate.
Well, from 5 to 7 in the morning, when they wake up, they're still in bed, but the cat he constantly kind of meows and cries, but is unable. But they're unable to, no matter the things that they give him, whether it be food or attention or rising, the cat still does the same kind of activity every single morning for about an hour.
Do they go back to bed or what?
Well, the people have.
Or are they all up or what?
I know. This becomes all of the things. We can go down all the questions. That's one of the things. The first things you think about it: are you still up? Do you get up? Do you go back to bed? Kind of what other factors do you even think about in that?
It's usually best to, in other words, if we interpret it this way, if we say that the cats are keeping the people up in the morning, they're just acting out. The people want to go back to sleep.
Yes, they do want to maintain sleep because it is still a little early for the people.
Yeah, and affection isn't what does it, and nothing does it. It's usually best at that time to say, "Oh, you want to play? I see what you want to do. Okay, and you lead them out of the bedroom. Oh, good. Here's your playroom. I get it. You wanted to have your own space. That's
Yeah.
what it's all about.
Okay. So yeah,
And
trying
you
to.
do it in
Oh.
you do it in an up kind of way rather than saying, "You bad cats, get out of here." You just put a different. Oh, I see what you wanted.
Mm-hmm.
And then you go back to bed, but make sure that they have access to their litter box, their whatever it is that they need.
Mm-hmm.
But in other words, what you're doing is you're each having your own space.
Yeah. Yeah.
In the morning.
So, and I said that was from Kathleen. That was from Kendra. I am so sorry, Kendra. But yeah. So get just like that. An original kind of sleep recommendation that you talked about as well was that upbeat new space or kind of their own space where they can relax into is another great thing to think about in that situation on all of that. Oh my goodness.
See, if the person gets upset and they're like, then their cat picks that up, and then it just carries on with that, no good theme, that down theme. Whereas if it's more like in a fun way, playtime. Yeah, I think they can work around this a little bit.
Yes, I think there is, and really bringing the positivity to the bond is so important in the interactions to make it stick. We talk a lot about how, just in interactions with animals that they respond, just like humans respond so much better to that positive reinforcement, that upbeat reinforcement to help create this lasting change and that lasting harmony. Now we do have one question that has a cat that just constantly watches someone sleep. So whenever they're sleeping, whenever they wake up, their cat is watching them, whether it be on the couch or in the bed. Have you had any cases like that or heard anything about that? Do you have any reason why that might be happening?
The first thing that comes to mind is private eye. But, no, it may be that the cat is waiting for the person to get up. Will you get out of bed and get me what I want? Or else the cat is fascinated by what's happening. And just like maybe the person's eyes flutter. Maybe it likes the feel of the person's breathing, or it could just be saying, all right, you have one more minute, I'll give you an extra minute, and if you don't do something now, I'm going to do something. And evidently the person is getting the message because they're very aware of what the cat is doing.
Yeah, the cat certainly is communicating. It certainly is still communicating. It is nice and nonverbal, but it certainly is still there. Now, have you had any cases, we have from Suzanne, has talked about a friend that had a cat that was aggressive towards a child. Have you had any cases across the years about aggression towards children at night?
It's usually because the cat is feeling left out. Because usually the cat was the, maybe the firstborn, so to speak, until the child arrived. So it's just a good thing to include the cat verbally when interacting with the cat, with the baby, just to mention the cat.
Yeah.
Don't just even if you're giving your cat lots and lots of attention, the attention has to be given when you or they are giving attention to the baby.
Yeah.
Or the cat. What happens is instead of reacting with flight and running away, it fights. It's either fight or flight, the survival mode. And it's just sort of going back to maybe something particular that happened, kitten deprivation. It could have happened in the womb. It could have happened, the kitten didn't get the right nipple. It could be many things.
Yeah.
So when the cat feels left out, it gets that feeling, and then the child becomes the enemy, so to speak. I haven't had many cases like that. Most of the cats, they'll just run away, but it can happen. But the cat is saying, "Hey, I need more. I need more."
Yeah, absolutely need more. And one of the things I always worry about, with kids, and when we kind of tell people, is if they do have a smaller space, make sure that you're not overtaking what you've already deemed the cat's space with the child.
Yeah, very good. Yeah, that's great, Chris. Yeah. Because then it really does feel put upon. I've lost this, I've lost that, and the boundaries become blurred.
Yeah, they absolutely
and
do.
that's not a fun time for anyone, because we all have emotions, and cats have emotions. Everybody has emotions.
And even though our cats try to hide them many times, they try and hide them a little bit and kind of stay a little more under the radar with exactly what they're feeling. With their actions, they do still explain themselves very well. Taking a moment to sit back and think about how a cat may view it, just like if you were in the cat's position. Thinking about it in that mindset really helps understand a lot of these issues as well from there. So it is. It's so exciting. It's such a great relationship that we can really have with cats, and that's one of my favorite things about cat guardians. I know I didn't have much of a question there. I am so sorry. Now we do have one more question here from Ruda. While they have started to move the cat outside their bedroom, but they did not lock him all the way up into the bathroom standpoint, and the cat is starting to kind of bang on the door to try and get back in. And how do you interpret that? How do you interpret that communication from the cat?
Well, the cat hasn't really settled down yet, and they may be sequestering the cat in a very sort of unhappy, negative kind of way. So they have to change their tune, so to speak.
He's still feeling that negative left outness.
Right.
He feels like he lost access to that bed, that comfortable bed.
Yeah. So they have to set up something that's comfortable for him, and just the idea that it's their cat's thing, and that's what's going to happen. Yeah.
Perfect. Well, goodness, we have had so many great questions, and thank you so much for kind of working through a lot of these different ones for us. We've covered a lot. We have covered a lot of different things here. Is there anything that we didn't cover today that you really wanted to highlight about relationships with cats, or kind of the psychology behind therapy for cats, or kind of where people can go to get this?
I would just say that it's great to have gratitude, and just just go through A to Z, thinking of all the different ways that your cat makes you happy. And when I'm treating cats, I treat the total cat, and that's what's so very important. You want to make sure that each night you go to bed, you say, "Oh, gee, this is a great day. This is a wonderful day. Tomorrow will be better." And if there's something that you don't know, then you reach out, and just the more you love your cat, the more you will feel loved. It's everything, Chris, is the right balance. Just the right balance, and that's what Reiki is about too. The right balance in mind, body, and spirit, and we all have good feelings, and a lot of the good feelings we have they're provided by our cats, and they mirror a lot of how we feel. And sometimes we don't even know that we're feeling icky, and then our cat will start yelling at us, and they'll say, "Oh my goodness, I must have been having an anxiety attack, and now my cat is telling me what's happening." So usually your cat usually has the right answers. Your cat really has the right answers.
Yes, don't forget, for folks, when you are feeling stressed, don't forget to listen to your cats as well. They'll help you through that. They are there. You know, they do love you. You love them, and they do love you as well.
Yeah, and they can always check out my blog. You know, the Wilbourn Way, and remember to exercise, to do good things for yourself, and you can do yoga. You can do many things at home with your cat. Take the time. Usually, as you feel good, your cat feels good, and many a cat will join a person as they're doing yoga or doing Pilates or meditating, because they want to share good stuff. We all want to share good stuff, particularly now when things are a little jagged here and there. But as they say, this too will pass, huh?
It will. It will. The world is currently a little bit weird, put it that way. And so, stay safe. Everyone stay safe with your home. Carole, thank you so much for joining us. It has been such a great time talking to you and sharing, having you share all this information about maintaining balance and creating balance in a home with a cat. And again, like Carole mentioned, check out the Wilbourn Way or the website thecattherapist.com to follow more about what Carole is up to, and then stay safe and enjoy this time with your cat, and let the cat enjoy the time with you. Don't force it. Don't make them enjoy it to their. Go ahead and set up that yoga up or set the Pilates up and let them choose to join you in that social time. So thank you again for everyone joining us. Carole, you have a great day. I will let you go now and get back to your own social distancing. Yeah. So, thank you again for being on with us.
Okay, thank you, Chris.
All right, thank you. Have a great day.